Hello YouTube, welcome back to the channel. Stacking Perpetrator here. In this video we're going to do an episode of what's in the box. I only got one more thing in the box. The box will be technically empty again other than the stickers, but for new viewers the box is where my LCS purchases go until I have a chance to film it for you. Then I decide if it goes in an album, if it goes in a box for my permanent stack, or another box for a future sell, trade, or upgrade for gold if the GSR is in my favor. So let me get that out. I just have the Benjis out here as some little eye candy for you while I was going through my little spiel. Also in this video, I'm going to do a follow-up for my thoughts on what's happened with silver the past couple of years with the high premiums, the spot price going up, and the high premiums and just the craziness, the narratives and all that. And in that video, I was cutting out coins out of the 22 uncirculated set and putting them in albums. So while we look at some coins that I picked up, I've had these for a while. I just hadn't done the video. I don't need any of these in the albums. I just got these because these look good. I may look and see if I have some upgrades, but I'll start off before I start talking about my thoughts and some follow-up. I don't even know what I'm looking at here. I can't see the date through my camera. You probably see the date before I do this. It said looks like a 1919. And what do we got for mint mark here? Philadelphia. Mercury dimes. Not in bad shape. That's why I plucked that one out. I like the getting those 20s and in the teens when I'm searching through the Mercury dimes. Here's another 19. I think this is either the D or the S. Yeah, it's the D. So yeah, I already have those in my collection, and I only need the 21D, technically the 21D, to finish the set. And then I'll probably try for the try to round up a micro S, a 45 micro S, and the 2/1 slots in my album. Those will just remain blank. I'm not gonna chase those down. Anyways, and we'll look at one more. Look at a slicked Standing Liberty quarter here. This has no date. I know I've stated that I will not buy these anymore that are slicked out like this, because I want my tubes to have a full date and where the mint mark, whether it has a mint mark or if it's a Philly, I want that area to be legible. But the reason I bought this one is because this is a type 1. So when I find type 1s that are slicked out, I still buy these. I'm putting these in a separate area, in a separate tube. And I just picked it up because it is a type 1. I've already verified this is not the 16. This is a 17. So it's the only coin I will buy with no date. Now that I've changed my position on how I buy those. Excuse me. But a couple things I left out. I'll start talking about my thoughts while I show you these quarters, these Washington quarters. I was talking about my thoughts on the silver prices and the premiums and what I did back in early 2020 when I saw the premiums hit. I switched more to numismatics and bought strategically silver to make sure I didn't go overboard. And I mentioned that some of the channels have been posting recently, since silver took a nosedive down to the low 18, and they were kind of regretting or questioning their purchases. And I know that caught up a lot of new stockers into that came aboard, and they didn't quite understand the core principles of stocking, which I've said many times is buy as close to spot as you can, look for the best deals, do your research, and silver, and don't buy the premium stuff. Treat yourself every once in a while to a coin you like, but everything. But when I said that about channels questioning their purchases, I was referring to channels that have been in the game and have an established channel and they had their channel established pre 2020, which 2019 and beyond, and those are the ones I was talking about. They kind of, with things going on, I think they got caught up in the fear of missing out, and spot price was going up, and they just felt they had to keep buying instead of pulling back and waiting. I think they got caught up in the silver shortage thing, which is another topic I didn't. I was talking about the silver shortage and the narrative that was going on, and I got a shout out to Fish because he brought up a couple points in his comment on that video, and I'm not directly talking back to Fish or replying back to Fish when I say this. It's just something I didn't touch on because the video was going long. But I did mention how my LCS was a wholesaler, and they never, in 3 or 4 states, and they go to a lot of different other, the different LCSs, and they buy and sell and supply other LCSs with products, and then they buy product from them. Some of the LCSs actually bring the product to them and everything, but it's not a bad 46. But and there's a debate whether, because they're a wholesaler, as to whether they had an advantage of keeping stock in their store. But I actually have, I know I talk about 2 LCSs that I go to, but I actually have 5. One is about a 45-minute drive from me. I've never been to it. I know about it. I've met the owners at my local LCS because they come to the LCS I frequent the most, the one that is a wholesaler, and they buy product from him and take it back to their shop and everything. So they get not only over the counter, but they come to my LCS and get stock for their store. There's another one that I can never catch them because they have weird hours, and I'm not. They're not that far away, but with my work, where I contract the most at and where I spend most of my time with my business, they're not in a good location for me to get to, and their hours are kind of short. So I've never actually been there, but I've heard that they are kind of high on their prices. They're looking for the maximum dollar out of coins. They don't deal much. This is really nice. This is like a BU 59. This was in the junk bin, this 59. So I've never been able to catch them open or had time to go by and look, see what they have. But I've heard people in my regular LCS say that, they're kind of high. They don't deal, they don't come down on prices much, doesn't matter what you're buying, they don't deal much. And I've heard that they don't pay much when stuff comes in over the counter either. They're kind of on the low end when it comes to if you're selling. My LCS, as far as the area, they pay the most. but they're also the cheapest on a lot of things. So try to figure that out. But because they are a wholesaler, they're more on doing volume. They're more on making money off of volume than they are of holding out for the maximum dollar. And they're actually also more on the bullion side and dealing with 90%. They don't have much. If you're going looking for slab coins or particular items, you're not gonna find it. Man, this is another nice one. 59 BU. But they're more of a turn and burn. They offer a good price. They sell at a good price. And they make their money by flipping as much product as they can. That's how they make their money. Another nice 59. I can't believe these were in the junk bin. That's why I pulled them out. So if I got my choice between, like I know I plucked this. Was that 39? I know I plucked the 39 out, but when you got your choice in the junk bin between a nasty, dirty, worn 39 or a BU 59, I'm going to take the 59 BU because it looks so nice. But so that was the story on the one. There's another LCS that I can get to. I pass by him frequently. I don't stop in because I really don't care for the owner much. He's more of a bragger, and he just wants to sit and BS with everybody. Another 59 BU. LCS had some nice coins. This is a Denver. They had some nice coins in the junk bin. I'll take these every time. But this guy, his little shop, it's kind of junky. There's only room for about 3-4 people in there at a time. Every time I've been there, ooh, look at this toner. Every time I've been there, there's usually 2 or 3 people sitting on the 2 available stools, and they're just there to talk and everything. Now, this guy has been in the business for a long time, and one of the wholesalers that is several levels above my LCS as far as being a wholesaler. My LCS would buys from the same person, but this guy at this other coin shop was real good friends with the original owner, and when the owner brought the son in to help him take over, and then the old man passed, the son kind of this guy that runs the coin shop didn't have that relationship with the son, and the son just kind of like blew him off, like you're nothing, you're small time. So the guy's mad because he doesn't get the respect like he did when the old man when the father was running that wholesale part, and he was kind of. And as a result of that, he was kind of pushing the silver shortage because he wasn't getting catered to by the son like he was the father. So he was pushing that narrative because they were kind of shrugging him off and not, jumping when he called or whatever. There's another LCS I haven't been to, know nothing about them. They're another 45 minutes in a whole different direction. I don't get out that way to. Never been to the shop. Don't know where it is. But then there's one that is kind of in downtown, very close to downtown. And the way this shop operates, with the high premiums, they have when the high premiums started and spot was going up and high premiums hit, they have always refused to buy from wholesalers. Even my LCS as far as the wholesale side that they do. This shop even refused to buy from them. They said they're not buying anything unless it comes in over the counter. Well, they also were pushing the silver shortage narrative and that we're running out of silver onto their customers, because they limited themselves to just buying what comes in over the counter. They were putting their customers on a waiting list. Meanwhile, my LCS got they got 6 showcases, and they can't get it all out so you can view it. I mean, they've got it spread out nice. They don't have it like they don't pile it up in the showcase, but they display it out nice so you can see what they have and and everything. But they're flush with silver, even though they are a wholesaler. Give them that. But this one particular LCS is telling their customers that there's a silver shortage. They can't get any, and they're literally telling their customers this and putting them on a waiting list. They've actually lost customers because they were doing that, because their customers actually traveled up to my normal LCS, and they were amazed at the amount of silver that my LCS had. And or they're always talking about how, they're put on a waiting list even for quarters. I mean, I set my LCS, I go through it, $200,000, $500,000 face value bag of quarters. I've literally sat down many times going through 200 face, 500 face of just Benjis, or the same thing with Standing Liberties. Kennedys. They get so many Kennedys in, they put a handful in the bin, and unless somebody wants tubes of them, they bag those up and they're sent out right away. Here lately, they've been getting a lot of Roosevelt dimes, and they don't have a big market for Roosevelt dimes. They keep a few on hand to have in a store, but I mean, I was in one day and they had $3,000 face bags that they ran through their counter, sealed up, ready to ship out and everything. But you got to watch some of your LCSs. They fall into that trap. They don't want to pay the premiums because they're worried about getting stuck with it, but then they're passing the narrative down to their customers that they can't get it, or that, putting them on a waiting list. We'll call you if something comes in. Meanwhile, they had the opportunity to buy the silver and stock their store. They just refuse to do it. They do not want to buy from a wholesaler. They want to only deal with what comes over the counter while these premiums are happening. So there's a lot to it. I just want to kind of add those two things in. Stuff that I missed. I hope you enjoyed looking at these quarters. I wasn't even paying attention to the dates. This one's got some really nice toning. I got one more down here. This one's got some blues. Got the yellow and some blues. At 64. Pulled a couple of these out. I don't know if that's legitimate toning, but I thought it looked good. Thought it looked really cool. But anyways, I'm rambling on again. Just letting you know a little more of my thoughts on it. I feel bad for the people that got caught up, that came into the community thinking that they were going to score big because silver was going up. The narrative was being pushed. They were told that we're running out of silver and there's a silver shortage and all of that. I felt I feel bad for the people that got caught up in that, and they wound up sinking their money in and not really they came in because they saw the price going up. They knew the premiums were creeping up. They're being told all these narratives. They sink their money into it. 2 years later, we're back down to Well, we were actually coming up a little bit, but, you know, dropping down to the low 18s into, you know, almost tagging the high 17s. And I guess we've rebounded a little bit. We're back up to like 20, I think, last time I looked. But I feel sorry. I feel bad for those people that came in, were fed the false narratives. They bought into those. And then now they're stuck, and, you know, and then they're mad because, like, oh, well, silver's, you know. But some of the ones that I also feel bad for are the established channels, the ones that have been in this game for a long time, and they you know, like, fell off the wagon when it came to the core principles of why we stack, and they got caught up in all the emotion, and, you know, maybe they believe some of the silver shortage message, and, you know, that we're running out of silver, and seeing the price go up. And I feel bad for the ones that are sitting back regretting or questioning what they bought, and they're looking at, you know, oh, you know, I had to pay $31 an ounce for my 10-ounce bar, and now, you know, it's only worth, you know, I paid $3.10 or $3.20 for the 10-ounce bar. Now it's only worth $2.50 or $2.40 or, you know, $2.30, whatever it is. I feel bad for those that got caught up in it. Now, if you were buying, and you were buying strategically, and you kind of pulled back, you still bought, but you pulled back a little bit, and you played things on the safe, you know, kind of, you know, you probably did pretty good if you took your time and you didn't overspend, and you researched, and you bought the deals, or you bought certain things because it was a good purchase. Maybe you bought vintage silver, you know, the old Engleharts and stuff like that, that's highly collectible and will still have a premium. You know, maybe you did pretty good. But I've rambled on long enough again. Let me know your thoughts down below. What'd you think of the quarters? If you're in the junk bin, which one would you buy? The 39 or the BU 59? What would be your choice? You know, no, here again, what do we got? A 30, I can't read it. And this one actually looks pretty good for 36. That actually looks pretty good. But you're going to take the 36? Well, if you didn't need it for an album fill, would you take the 36, or would you take the nice BU 59? Let me know your thoughts down below. We will see you on another one.